Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Koholoyim la Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Hakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all you H.I.M and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, to the best of their ability. This is Yachana Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just want to do a copyright disclaimer. I'm not making any monetary value off of this particular video, but this is in the news. So it's NBC News. It's the meeting with, President Xi, Putin, and Modi, which are the President Putin is the president of Russia, Modi of India, and Xi, of course, China. And these leaders are doing what they doing, man. You know what I'm saying? They coming up against America and they making bold stances on the world stage to show that, hey, they are about that business, man. And they tired of these Americans. They're tired of you Edomites here in the Americas, man. So I'm gonna play this video, and it's just a news clip for what's going on. Just for the H.I.M and Akwaf to see what's happening in the world, because we're the watchmen. We're supposed to report on anything that's going to escalate into prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff is prophecy. We're supposed to be meditating on prophecy day to day, day to day, day to day. That's supposed to be our mindset, and the work got to get done. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're workers, man. And whether tired or not, you got to do this work. We need this work done. We have to warn the flock. We have to warn the people, and we have to prophesy against Esau, Edom's kingdom, man. So let's play this real quick.
In China, President Xi is hosting the leaders of more than 20 countries for what's known as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Among those in attendance is Russian President Vladimir Putin and India's Prime Minister Modi. NBC News international correspondent Janice Mackey-Frayer joins us now from Beijing. So, Janice, we know President Xi has been addressing leaders this morning. Tell us a bit more about what he said and what the goals of the summit are.
Maya, this summit has been all about optics, about the sort of messages being telegraphed to the rest of the world, namely to the United States. China under Xi Jinping is seeking influence and to present an alternative to a world order that's been dominated by the U.S. At this summit alone, the leaders of China, Russia, India, Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, and a dozen others are in attendance and showing that they're aligned with this sort of thinking. In his speech, Xi Jinping took some jabs at the way President Trump has been reshaping U.S. foreign policy. He talked of global upheaval and bullying without naming names. All of it underscoring, though, how Xi has been working to present China as this stable alternative for what he calls, quote, an inclusive world order. Maya?
Yeah, Janice, and as we mentioned, Russia's President Putin is there as well. What have we heard from him, particularly on the issue of NATO and Ukraine?
Consider the timing of this summit for Vladimir Putin, just weeks after his meeting with President Trump in Alaska about the war in Ukraine. Putin today, again in the spotlight, blaming NATO for the ongoing war and claiming he has, quote, understandings with President Trump. He didn't say whether he's agreed to ceasefire talks, despite a deadline to do so. But by making this trip for the summit and attending a military parade here on Wednesday, he is again easing out of political isolation. And another leader who is looking to make his way out of the wilderness, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. He has also been invited to the military parade, and South Korean media reporting that he's expected to arrive here in Beijing by special train in the next 24 hours.
It's interesting. We also know India's Prime Minister Modi is also in attendance despite some frosty relations with China over border disputes. Tell us about Modi's meeting with Xi and also his meeting with Putin in the wake of those additional U.S. tariffs imposed on India for buying Russian oil.
Exactly. Just last week, President Trump slapped India with 50% tariffs. Today, Narendra Modi is holding hands with Putin, smiling with Xi Jinping. Modi and Putin sharing a car to go to a sideline meeting. In attending this summit, it was Modi's first visit to China in 7 years. This is after the two countries have had strained relations over border disputes that they are now saying they can overcome. This summit didn't need to deliver headlines or big deals because it's so heavy on symbolism. The message being that the leaders gathered here may have differences among them, but they are united in saying to the U.S. and to the West that they are not without friends. Maya.
Okay, there you have it, man. So these leaders are getting together and they're coming up against America, man. Again, this is Isaiah 14:10. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So these major, powers, because I think India, matter of fact, you know what? Let's ask ChatGPT something, right? Let me just put in, look, between China and India, what's their population? Shit, these people right here, just between these two particular, these two nations, man, it's billions of people. When these Americans right here in America, you only got like what? You haven't even reached the 400 million person mark. I don't think America. I think America probably about 300, and I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude, he doesn't understand. Like there's power in numbers. But you're keeping your people from procreating. It's too hard for people to have babies. Your military. These people can send out. Let me see here. It says the population comparison 2025. India is currently the most populous country with about 1.464 billion people. Man, that outsources America by they could send in they could send in a billion troops, right? And still be left with the amount that the Americans have as far as people. Over the amount. It says China ranks second with approximately 1.416 billion people in 2025. So you're looking at this count is basically 3 billion people. Between these two countries, China and India, 3 billion people, bro. And you know why so many? Well, hey, see Esau, he tried to stop you, Jake, really, from procreating. And that's the problem with America. That really, it backfired on them. Because when they tried to stop Jake, it actually stopped them as well. So they're reaping what they've sown. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. We're just going to flow in the spirit with this thing. They're reaping what they've sown. It is what it is. You try to kill off niggas. Galatians 6:7, be not deceived. Yahweh is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So the American population, as far as, or the so-called white man, he has tried to delete you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But what he's done is he didn't see the backfire on it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's actually deleting himself. Because they're the ones on drugs. They're the ones that's doing all the damn school shootings. Now, they done went from school shootings to goddamn Walmart stabbings. They're not having babies like they used to have babies. They're dying off quicker than they're being born. Them drugs is hitting their asses over the head. And you don't think that these countries don't know that? Like Russia, they're Edomites too, but they do have some morals, so to speak. They're like some of those Edomites that still, them motherfuckers wrestle bears, man. They don't give a fuck. They like manly, and their women are really feminine, in that particular region. But here in these Americas, Babylon the Great, no. It's just a bunch of debauchery, man, going on in this place, day to day. Let's get Job 34 and 29 real quick. So the Lord is dealing with, and those Russians, they're just playing their part. The Lord is going to use them to destroy America along with these other countries, and then their ass is going into captivity too. But the Lord is going to use that sword against the sword. Job 34 and 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. And that's what's happening. So the Lord, he deals with these nations. He raises them up. He sets them up in power. And then he breaks them down. They crash. And then, this newer kingdom that's coming is going to be the kingdom of Yahweh. Bashim Yahushai, the kingdom of Yahushai, which is not going to be broken, man. Matter of fact, let's see, Slakia. Let me start at verse 40 here. Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all things, all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And that's what's going on right now. That this whole thing of keeping the Israelites is being divided, basically. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes and the feet were part of the iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that's what's going on. Because really, in reality, all these kingdoms, all these nations, they're the enemies of the Lord in Psalms chapter 83, which they should be together, but they're all broken, because you got some that's greedier than others, they can never have enough. And it's mainly these Americans. The Lord has set them up in a trick bag, where they should be linking up with all these other countries. There should be America should actually be a part of BRICS, if you ask me, me speaking as a man. But the Lord has actually placed it on these leaders' minds to separate, man. Okay, but it says, verse 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So it's gonna come a breaking point. It's already breaking. This is what we're witnessing. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. This is our kingdom that's coming, through the power and strength of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And this is what you're witnessing right now. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain. Yeah, that dream is, though it tarry, wait for it. It's certain. And the dream is certain. And the interpretation thereof sure. So this is coming to pass. That's my 144 right on time, baby. Fuck these hoes. We looking for the chariots. Yeah, my beloved brother Allah always be laughing at the hookup. I got them boys set. I got I got alarms set. But 1044, 144, 1144, I don't care what 44, you know what I'm saying? Because we need out of here, man. This is a beautiful thing right here. See, this right here, when you see these leaders doing all this, this is a show to the Americans, man. They want you Americans. They want President Donald Trump to see, look, you're not in power, bro, like that, like how you think. You're not going to run and dominate us like that. You know what I'm saying? These leaders, man, in these other countries. So when you think about it, America is outnumbered by billions of people, man. They could easily fly in on this place, man. But what's going to happen is, they're just going to, the Lord is going to send those, those missiles this way. Let's get Sirach 25:7. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And this is what we're witnessing. We're witnessing the fall of our enemy. And I was actually going off into a video I seen earlier today with one of the elders, and how, Trump got the National Guard coming into these different cities. But these National Guards, when you in a National Guard like that, you have to actually leave your job. You might be a say you somewhere, and you making a decent living. You making a decent enough living to have 2 or 3 children. Your wife is at home, this, that, and the third. But once they pull you on that National Guard service, and your job is at risk, basically. Like, how long are you gonna be gone before somebody replaces you? Now, you might be able to come back. Generally, some of these companies, they're patriotic, where they'll say, well, all right, he's doing the nation's business, so to speak. But it's not always that way. And then at the same time, too, you're not making what you would normally make at that particular job. In the military is not like that. You know what I'm saying? They make some money, but, you have to wait on that shit to come through. You have to wait on, you know what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, your benefits are cut. Your family benefits are cut. You have to do a certain amount of time in the military to actually keep those things going. And from this video that I seen earlier today with one of the, let me see if I can find it, though. Because I was just a few videos back. I've been watching all kinds of videos today as far as the elders. You know what? Let me see. I don't know. Let me go. Yeah, because some stuff just be playing in the backdrop. I think this was it. I think it was the, House Divided.
Let me tell you something. I served in the military 24 years, and I know the National Guard up and down, back and forth, all the way around. The employments that they supposed to be going on in the United States ain't about nothing. First off, we're going to have a huge pay problem. I know how the system works. We're going to have a huge pay problem where they're not going to get their checks like they're supposed to. It's going to uproot, mess up their insurance in many cases on the jobs. Those jobs are not going to want to take them back. And they're going to have mass reporting issues because these units usually have one readiness NCO. And they have operations sometimes, and they may have supply sergeant, and they may have the top where some of the officers work in. And when I tell you it's going to be messed up because you're pulling these guys off their regular life, some of them right in the middle of the football season with their kids. Some of the parents right in the middle of their jobs as teachers, as professionals at their companies. They ain't gonna want to be there. And what are they doing? That's the question. They don't see, many of them don't see these conditions as valuable because they're not. There is no imminent threat to the United States of America right now in these cities. So all these smoke and mirrors that they're employed to defend something, don't believe it. I happen to be glad I'm retired. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. But I just pray for you guys that you are able to get your job back, get off of it, and maintain your regular life, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to miss your children. I know what it's like to be 2 hours away from the house, can't go home, and they ain't even got beds set up for you because there are no hotels ready. They don't have meals ready. The food, there's no KP, kitchen patrol, anywhere to cook. What they gonna do? You got the Burger King every 5 minutes to make you spend your own money. So I'm telling you, you're gonna hear about these stories coming up. Because I know how it works as a retired soldier. They be better off overseas deployed in a real operation than running around the streets of Washington, D.C. and Chicago. Alright? God bless all of you. Have a good day.
Okay, yeah, and that's the video I seen earlier, and it goes a little further with a lot of situations, that could be going that could go down with this thing, man. This is GMS Austere Man. Definitely subscribe and be edified, man, because I don't know how he be getting these videos, man, but I don't know where he get the videos from, but man, they be short and straight to the point, and they be like just straight to the point. That's the best I could put it, man. Like, I don't know where you get these videos from, but he be on top of all this stuff real quick, like, so you know what I'm saying. And generally the videos are, rather, he do his regular videos, but he do these somewhat of these shorts where he packs a lot of information into, you know just a couple of minutes. But it's a collage of videos. Pretty much you can get a lot of videos from TikTok like that if you watch enough, Some of that shit is so aggravating. But some of these brothers got the spirit to do this, you know what I'm saying? Because some of this stuff, I personally can't listen to when it comes to certain people. But that was one of the videos that I saw. And so while Trump and them is doing that, these guys are linking up together. And they're, pretty much like, fuck America. But it's all going to come down to a point of, that market of Beauty and the Beast, because that's what it's really leading up to. They're all in on it. All of them trying to get it. China got the edge on the people, as far as their government, they pretty much got everybody already under wraps, you know what I'm saying? Like, you be a peaceful, obeying subject and you'll survive here. Other than that, they not throwing damn gum wrappers on the street. There ain't no potato chip bags and shit. Ain't no goddamn broken liquor bottles and none of that stuff on their streets. They shit is clean, pristine, and the people are in order as far as under the government wise. But, it's a lot going on, man, in the world right now. Matter of fact, I'm watching something else in the backdrop on the TV as well. That's going on with the EU, United States. I mean, this shit is really about to come to this World War III, that third woe. That's all that this is about. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick and I'll end out Yahweh Ratazah. It's that third woe. These countries are sick of you goddamn Americans, man. You Babylonian Edomites. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So that's what we're witnessing right now. We're witnessing that third woe coming through quickly. And you, Jake, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you prideful ass niggas, you prideful ass women, y'all need to repent, man, to the Father Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh, because the Lord is about to destroy this place. Two-thirds of Jake gonna get it in this place, man. And I'm praying that I'm not a part of that shit. I just want to do the work, take it day to day and get the fuck out of here, man, and tack, so to speak, So, they repent to the Father Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh. With that, Kwam Yasha Allah and a Bible ball.